Amelia Earhart and the Powder Puff Derby. It was the 1920s.
On the East Coast, sophistication was blossoming.
The flapper, short skirts, bobbed hair.
Prohibition made drinking more fun because
It was illegal. We women even carried hidden flasks under our garters. We were pretty brazen.
The dance craze was the Charleston.
Charleston,
Charleston, made in Carolina.
some dance, some friends.
We
say there's nothing finer than Charleston, Charleston. Lord, how you can shuffle. Every step you do leads to something new. And we're telling you it's a wapazoo. Buck dance, wing dance. We'll be a back number, but the Charleston, the new Charleston. That dance is surely a comer sometime. You'll dance it one time. The dance called the Charleston, made in South Carolina.
Yes, it was a time to be frivolous until the stock market crash of 1929. Some people lost everything.
But it was still a great time for us women.
We could speak our minds.
And we could smoke in public. You know, if it was up to me, I could smoke a cigar anytime.
Yeah.
Sure, and finally we could vote.
I was an aviatrix. I flew solo in a rickety plane in the most publicized race in America. You remember? The Powder Puff Derby?
What are you talking about, Pancho? The Powder Puff Derby?
Yeah. But it does sound like a car race, doesn't it?
It was the first all-women's transcontinental air race, and I wanted Amelia to be part of it. She is certainly one of the best flyers.
It became part of the Aeronautical Exposition.
Sure, that was a while ago.
Oh, not so long ago. We remember, don't we?
Yeah. Amelia, we could never forget flying 2,800 miles from Santa Monica to Cleveland, stopping to refuel 19 times. Could we?
Oh, no. It was exciting and dangerous. We didn't realize just how dangerous.
It was the first cross-country air race for women.
You remember what the papers called it, a thrill for the nation. The 1929 National Air Races and Aeronautical Exposition in Cleveland, Ohio.
The final destination in Cleveland included fireworks, 5,000 pigeons, remember the pigeons, and Charles Lindbergh in person.
The heat was almost unbearable in those open cockpits. We flew 9 tough days over deserts and mountains and plains. What were we thinking?
Amelia, you know we were daring. We had courage.
And maybe we were just a little out of our minds.
Yeah. Oh, you're right, Ruth. I remember Will Rogers saying,
Well, I pegged it the Powder Puff Derby after I spied one of those lady racers readying herself for a photo session. My opinion hadn't changed, and I still think you are the best looking flyers in the sky.
Will, you've always been one of our most ardent fans.
You know, Louise, I love flying. If your time is worth anything, travel by air. If not, you might as well walk.
Didn't I hear your parents actually made the long walk from North Carolina to Oklahoma?
They were Cherokee. They had no choice.
you know, today you got lots of choices.
If my memory serves me right, All I could think about was following the powder puffers cross country and bombarding the newspapers with your stories.
Well, you bring humor into everything. It was no joke. This was an honest-to-goodness, real competition.
Well, I remember everything about it. It was an unusually warm day in Santa Monica. We knew it was going to get a lot warmer on our stops in Yuma and Phoenix. Bone dry. I could taste the gritty sand in my mouth.
Yeah.
It was August 18th, 1929. All of us checked our planes carefully. There were whisperings that our planes may have been tampered with.
Yeah,
Only
boy.
have road maps and compasses.
We can follow the train tracks. There sure are a lot of those in this country. Everything looks the same over the desert.
Here comes the press. Get those smiles going, ladies. Amelia, smile with your mouth closed so the photographers won't see that space between your two front teeth.
George Putnam, you may be my publicity agent and my husband, but I will take care of my smile. Thank you.
I only want what's best for you. You know what they call you, Lady Lindy, after Charles Lindbergh. That's quite an honor.
Sure, I flew across the Atlantic in 1928, but I didn't fly solo. I was just a navigator.
Okay, ladies, get in front of your planes. Your big news all across the country. Our papers would like to sell you all to the public.
They sure do. This is a first in American history.
Okay, now pose, show a little leg. Give us a great big smile.
Yeah, now hold it for the cameras.
Wait a minute. We're not pinup models. We're aviatrices, and we're serious about this competition.
Come on, Ruth. Just pose for the cameras. No one will listen. We just have to prove that we can do it.
So after all the hullabaloo, they took off from Cloverfield in Santa Monica, one right after the other, people on the ground waving and running down the airstrip behind them. I sure loved it.
First stop,
San Bernardino!
My gosh, look at the crowd.
Oh, here they come. Wow.
Welcome to our town. We're mighty proud that you all chose to make your first stop to refuel here.
We've prepared a banquet for you, and we have a movie about flying to show you. It's called The Flying Fool.
Oh boy, a movie about flying.
Well, we really do appreciate your offer and your hospitality, but we've got to check out our planes and get some rest. We have a long trip ahead of us.
George Putnam had driven by car, as had many of the reporters, mechanics, and aviatrices' husbands. George had his eye on publicity.
Amelia and all you ladies, you can't turn down such a gracious offer. Get yourself out of those dusty flying outfits, put on a dress.
And meet us at the town hall.
No sense arguing. Let's go for it.
Well, that night, after the banquet and the rubbery chicken dinner, Pancho Barnes got everything together.
Now listen, Amelia and I have been talking. We found out from some of our mechanics that
The airfield runway in Calexico is just too short for us to land.
Oh.
so
We're going to fly straight to Yuma, Arizona.
Well, I'm okay with that. How about the rest of you?
Sounds good to me, Ruth.
Now that shouldn't be too difficult.
Let's not take any
Chances.
chances. We're taking enough chances just flying.
Next stop,
Yuma, Arizona.
So the She Derby got off the ground, refueled in Yuma. No time for maternal worries. They had given their lives to their carburetor.
next stop,
Phoenix, Arizona.
Have we all landed? I don't see Marvel's plane.
don't worry about Marvel. If anyone is a good flyer, she sure is. Come on, Louise. We've got to get ready for another rubbery chicken dinner.
Little did they know, until the next day that Marble Croson had crashed.
The Arizona Republican headlined the story.
They reached Douglas to refuel, and George Putnam was there to meet them.
Ladies, I have sad news for you. Marvel Croson crashed near the Gila River and her parachute didn't open.
Oh, no.
I heard a rumor that her gas tank was empty. Some say it could be sabotage.
The El Paso, Texas newspaper reacted with a headline, "Stop the Race. Airplane race is too hazardous an adventure for women pilots."
Your race sponsors in Santa Monica calls for an immediate halt to the race.
No. We just need to have our planes properly guarded during the night. What do you think, Amelia?
Pancho, we're united in our feelings. We wish to thumb our collective nose. We'll finish the race in Marvel's honor.
Right, on with the race.
Right.
Well, those ladies were tough and determined, but most of the ladies had disapproving parents who didn't want their daughters to risk their lives in one of those things.
El Paso to Pecos, 165 miles.
Pecos to Midland, 100 miles.
Midland to Abilene, 140 miles.
Abilene to Fort Worth, 138 miles.
Fort Worth to Tulsa, 253 miles.
Tulsa to Wichita, 130 miles.
Wichita to Kansas City, 175 miles.
Kansas City to East St. Louis, 250 miles.
East St. Louis to Terre Haute, 158 miles.
Terre Haute to Cincinnati, 158 miles.
Cincinnati to Columbus, 100 miles.
Well, now, we've been following these ladies clean across the country. Only another 120 miles from Columbus to Cleveland.
It looks like the three contenders ahead of the rest are Amelia, Ruth Nichols, and Louise Thaden. I sure would like to see Amelia win. It's good for her image.
You mean your image and your pocketbook. She's a meal ticket to you. Sorry. Enough said. Look, they're ready to take off.
Louise cleared the runway first. Then Ruth was next. But she didn't realize that there was a tractor at the end of the runway.
Oops.
Amelia had just started down the runway. She cut off her engine.
Ruth, are you okay?
So she ran down the runway to the smoking plane and helped her friend out of the plane. Others gathered around to help.
Boy, am I glad I wore my seatbelt. But I sure made a mess of my plane. Amelia, don't wait. Get in your plane and finish the race. Hurry.
Okay, if you're okay, I'm on my way. I sure lost time.
And some of the aviatrices just plain got lost and ended up in the wrong city.
In Cleveland, the crowds were gathering in anticipation of the plane's landing. Of course, there was prize money at stake. $8,000 for first place.
When Louise Thaden landed and the crowds began cheering, she realized she had come in first.
Yay!
Where are all the other planes? Did I come in first?
You sure did. Well, I bet on Amelia coming in first. You were my second choice.
Thanks for your confidence, Will. I love your honesty.
But, you know, it's been an exciting race. I would have missed it for anything. Aviation is not a fad. It's a necessity.
Where's Amelia? Where is she?
Look, I see her plane coming in, but Ruth Elder already landed. I guess third is better than not at all.
As Amelia landed, there were loud cheers. Was a hero.
A telegraph message from Columbus to Cleveland announced that she had given up her runway position to help her friend Ruth Nichols after Ruth's plane ran into a tractor.
As important as the race is, being there for a friend is more important. I'm proud of all of us who risked so much to compete in this race.
And so it was. These women met in an old hangar and began the formation of the 99s.
It honored all of the female licensed pilots of 1929. Amelia was their first president.
It was Louise Thaden's poem that expressed these fearless women's feelings.
Flight is abiding peace.
Absolute serenity.
It is faith and compassion.
Pure joy.
It is a spirit totally free.
Flight is yesterday's yearning.
The fulfillment of today's dreams.
Tomorrow's
promises.
Thank you.